The legendary tale of the Lincoln County War in 19th century New Mexico is replete with colorful characters and gripping events. Amidst this tumultuous period, one name stands out prominently: John Tunstall. Not only was Tunstall a prominent figure in the infamous conflict, but he also played a crucial role in the life of a young outlaw named Billy the Kid. In this video, we delve into the life of John Tunstall, discovering his tragic death and his influential connection to the legendary Billy the Kid. John Henry Tunstall was a rancher and merchant in Lincoln County, New Mexico, who dared to compete with the Murphy and Dolan Mercantile and Banking Company, which resulted in the Lincoln County War. John Tunstall, born March 6, 1853, in Hackney, London, came from a middle-class family background. Tunstall's father is involved in commerce, with business interests in both Canada and in the United Kingdom. Unfortunately, due to this connection, he faces contempt and social exclusion. Tunstall spent a part of his childhood in Belsize Park, while his father continued to pursue his commercial endeavors. In August 1872, Tunstall immigrated to British Columbia, Canada, and at age 19 to work as a clerk for Turner, Beaton, and Tunstall, a store in which his father owned a partnership. As Robert M. Utley accounts, Tunstall spent 3 arduous years as a secretary and was not satisfied working alongside his father's partner in Vancouver. This forgettable experience created in Tunstall a firm conviction that the path to wealth and prosperity was not in his present circumstances. With this in mind, Tunstall made the bold decision to resign as secretary in February 1876 and move to California. There, Tunstall spent 6 months meticulously researching the profitability of sheep farming. After carefully assessing the opportunities, he resolved to pursue his aspirations, directing his ambitions to Santa Fe, the capital of the New Mexico Territory. Tunstall had become aware that in Santa Fe a distinct legal profession had developed, specializing in manipulating the ownership of land grants. Before his arrival, however, Tunstall spent more than a year convincing his father, John Partridge Tunstall, of the guaranteed prosperity that awaited him, provided he had the necessary resources. His father was a shrewd skeptic, had achieved remarkable success in the realm of commerce, and, despite possessing abundant capital for investment, but did not share it with his son. On August 15, 1876, Tunstall traveled to Santa Fe, the territory's capital, where he met Alexander McSween, a Scottish-Canadian lawman who enlightened him about the enormous profit potential in Lincoln County, a rapidly developing region. Realizing the opportunities ahead, McSween formed an alliance with John Chisholm, a renowned rancher with an impressive herd of more than 100,000 heads. McSween became Tunstall's business partner, and the two sought Chisholm's support. To establish his presence in the region, the young Englishman bought a farm in Rio Feliz, about 30 miles south of Lincoln, and began his journey as a ranch owner. In addition, Tunstall ventured into commerce by establishing a store and bank opposite the trading and banking operations of Murphy and Dolan, a business founded many years ago by James Dolan, Lawrence Murphy, and John H. Riley, all of Irish descent. Locally known as The House, the Murphy-Dolan establishment exercised control over the town and county surrounding Lincoln, much like their fiefdom. They hold power over important business dealings in the county and influence the courts. Lincoln County Sheriff William J. Brady, an Irish immigrant from Cavan County and an ally of the House, further consolidated their power. Tunstall is eager to make money in Lincoln County, offering reasonable prices and fair deals at his store. He attracted locals eager to find a competitor to Murphy and Dolan. In letters to his family in London, Tunstall said he not only intended to overthrow Murphy and Dolan, but to become so powerful that half the dollars anyone in Lincoln County made would be fell into his pocket. He also wrote about how soon he would raise the Tunstalls from a middle class to the top class in polite British society. Tunstall's mercantile business brought him into conflict with the powerful political, economic, and judicial structure that governed the New Mexico Territory. This group of men is called the Santa Fe Ring. Members of the ring include Thomas Catron, the Attorney General and political boss of the New Mexico Territory. Catron owns 3 million acres of land and is one of the largest landowners in American history. Catron holds the mortgage for the house, so has a direct stake in its success in Lincoln. With numerous residents of Lincoln shifting their business operations to Tunstall's establishment, the financial downfall of Murphy Dolan became inevitable, adversely affecting Catron's profits. Murphy and Dolan try to stop Tunstall from going out of business, first by legally harassing him, then trying to involve him in a gunfight. In an attempt to suppress him, they even hired gunmen, most of whom are related to the notorious Jesse Evans gang, also known as the Boys. Tunstall, calmed by their tactics, counterattacked by assembling his own group of gunmen. The formidable force consists of 6 local ranchers and cowboys who don't like Brady, Murphy, and Dolan. These men work on Tunstall's ranch and carry out his orders in the escalating conflict with forces associated with Murphy Dolan. Among Tunstall's employees was an 18-year-old named William Bonney, who later became known as Billy the Kid when he led a gang of his own. In the spring of 1877, Sheriff Brady was beaten up by 2 bravados who were believed to be acting on John Tunstall's orders in the middle of the main street of Lincoln. This incident marks an important turning point in the ongoing struggle. On February 18, 1878, a group consisting of Tunstall, Richard M. Brewer, John Middleton, Henry Newton Brown, Robert Weidenman, Fred Waite, and William Bonney set out on a journey, bringing 9 horses from Tunstall's farm on the Rio Feliz to Lincoln. Meanwhile, a team led by Sheriff Brady arrived at Tunstall's Feliz Ranch with the intention of confiscating his cattle, acting on an order that had been issued against his business partner McSween. This incident is a testament to the turmoil in the work of Tunstall and McSween when the group of owners had to foreclose on Tunstall's cattle as collateral for McSween's debts. Finding Tunstall, his hand, and the horses gone, a side team split from the main team and gave chase. But these horses are not protected by any legal action. Delegates Jesse Evans, Henry Hill, and Morton eventually caught up with Tunstall and his companions in the scrubland several miles from Lincoln. Tunstall, along with his 9 horses and his hired guns, were spread along the narrow path. Bonney, in rear position, warned the others of the approaching delegates. Without giving any warning, the delegates immediately opened fire. Tunstall's men, startled by the surprise attack, galloped through the dense foliage, seeking refuge on a hilltop overlooking the trail. At first, Tunstall stayed with his horses, but eventually decided to ride away, pursued by 3 deputies. Tragically, only 3 of Tunstall's men survived the ensuing confrontation. According to historian Robert Utley, it remains uncertain whether Tunstall surrendered or attempted to defend himself against deputies Morton, Hill, and Evans by drawing his weapon. Despite that, a barrage of gunfire broke out, resulting in Tunstall's untimely death. 2 rifle bullets hit him, one through his chest, the other through his brain. Later, supporters of Tunstall claimed that he was murdered in cold blood. However, House supporters insisted that he had been shot down while resisting arrest by a lawfully commissioned deputy sheriff of Lincoln County. John Tunstall died less than 3 weeks before his birthday. He is 24 years old. This incident started what became known as the Lincoln County War. Tunstall's tragic death had a profound impact on Billy the Kid, who expressed deep grief at the loss. Tunstall was one of the few individuals who treated him as if he were born free and white. John Tunstall is buried at Tunstall McSween Graveyard, Lincoln County, New Mexico, United States. At Tunstall's funeral, Billy swore, "I'll get every son of a bitch who helped kill John if it's the last thing I do." Adding to the turmoil, rumors began to circulate suggesting that Tunstall's assassination had been staged on the orders of James Dolan and Lawrence Murphy. Subsequently, a group comprising William Bonney, Richard M. Brewer, Chavez E. Chavez, Doc Scurlock, Charlie Bowder, George Coe, Frank Coe, Jim French, Frank McNabb, along with other friends and staff of Tunstall, approached Justice of the Peace John Wilson in Lincoln County. Wilson, who held sympathies for their cause, made a solemn declaration, appointing them as special policemen with the task of bringing Tunstall's killers to justice. This ownership team is legal and is led by Richard Dick Brewer, a respected local rancher who served as Tunstall's foreman. The newly minted lawmen calling themselves the Regulators began pursuing Deputies Evans, Morton, Hill, Baker, and all others involved in Tunstall's death. The two factions engaged in a conflict that stretched across Lincoln County. John Tunstall lived in Lincoln for about 18 months before being killed by Deputies Morton, Hill, and Evans. During this time, he corresponded regularly with his family in London. These letters, meticulously compiled by Frederick Nolan, were later published as The Life and Death of John Henry Tunstall, an influential work that sheds light on the history of the Lincoln County War. Tunstall's letters serve as a window into the ambitions, prejudices, and youthful vigor that have shaped him. It also provides valuable economic, cultural, social, and political insights of that era. Notably, Tunstall's gun is still preserved at the Royal Armouries Museum in Leeds, UK.
Please like and share if you find the video content interesting and useful. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and comment below so as not to miss the upcoming interesting videos. Thanks for watching.